So before we move forward, a little bit of an introduction about myself without boring you too much is that I'm a co-founder of a company called IPX, which is into content making for founders and brands. And I'm also a podcaster that talks to entrepreneurs primarily. So before we move forward and we get to the actual topic, just a couple of questions. Will you guys be able to raise your hands to my questions?
Yes.
What's perfect? All right. So the first question is, do you have somebody you look up to? It's okay even if it's Tollywood actors, no judgment at all. Anybody that you look up to. It could be your parents, somebody that your friends, anybody, your podcaster, somebody who motivates you on a daily basis, the backbenchers, nobody that you look up, anybody that you look up to at all. Raise your hands. Perfect. Thank you. The next question is a little big. Are you in a relationship? You can keep this private. Don't need to raise hands. Are you in a relationship? And if yes, people have something no. Alright? The next big question is, if you are in a relationship, do you love them? Three things I'm sure is going on in your head right now. One is either you are listing down reasons as to why you love the person you love. Or the second thing is you're like, why should we have reasons to love? Big thinkers. The third are people, why is Anusha asking this question at all? This is supposed to be a serious TEDx talk. Right? Alright? For those people, keeping this aside, we'll come back to this later, is that sometimes in life, right, you don't necessarily have a lot of happy things, a lot of smooth things. Do you agree? Hardships are common, right? It could be a college going student, it could be your parent, it could be your boss, it could be your professor. Hardships are common, right? But when life is going smooth, you never stop to ask why. Am I right? Example, let's say you guys want a scooty. Every day you're picking up your friend on the way to college. You're going out for movies. Everything is fine. You have money to put petrol in the scooty. No questions asked. But one day if you fall down, why did I not start early in the morning? Why did I not ask my friend to directly come to the college? You start asking why, am I right? Alright? I mean, big things, right? Like you don't ask questions. It could be, why this college? Why are we attending a TEDx talk today? It's all available on the internet. Why are you sitting here today? You don't ask questions. Even for that matter, a lot of us do not ask what success means. If I right now give papers to you guys and ask you to answer what success is, 80% of you will write the same thing. Good job, good partner, family shouldn't bother you, right? These are the couple of things 80% of you will write. So I wanted to share a story with you guys today. A long ago, 9 years back, you can see the picture. I was doing my MBA. So how many of you are graduates? Are you pursuing graduation? Please raise your hands. Engineering, first year, second year, third year, anything. Most of you. Alright, perfect. Anybody pursuing postgrad? No. Okay. So just a little bit of context setting here is that MBA is for 2 years. You guys know this, right? After first year, you have to do an internship for 2-3 months. Do you guys know this? Yes. Alright. So that's the story I wanted to share today. Is my internship story. After my first year, we were expected to do an internship. So after my first year almost, we were expected, to participate in the interviews in college, get a placement, do an internship. And just like everybody else, I was extremely enthusiastic and energetic. I don't know how many can relate to me, but as an MBA student, you earn really fast, right? Like within a year, you get a placement, you start earning, so the energy levels are really different from what you guys are right now. You guys still have a lot of time to go there. So I was fully pumped, fully enthusiastic, energetic, and like, if I kill it at internship, I'm going to get a pre-placement offer. I'm going to make it big in life. I had a lot of dreams. So I went to my placement committee head. She was this big lady in a red saree always. I've always seen her in a red saree. I don't know why, don't ask me. So I went to her and I told her, ma'am, I'm really pumped. So whatever company you're going to get, I'm going to apply for it. She said, okay. She was not as enthusiastic as me. She was tired of doing her own job for 20 years or so. So she said, okay, cool. So I applied. The first company that came to the campus was a private bank. It's a very established bank. I am not saying the bank's name, so the video gets telecasted on YouTube. So it's a very big bank. So I applied for the marketing internship that we got. And I got an email that was shortlisted for the interview. And I went after 3 days, they asked us to come for an interview, and I was surprised to see that almost 25 people applied for that job. I was like, okay, let's see. So the first round happened. You know how the first round of interviews are, right? You go say, I am so-and-so. I am in the first year of MBA, like they didn't know. So all these things, you tell them, you come out. So out of the 25 people, 6 people got selected. Now this is a true story, guys. That's the proof. That is 6 people with my professor there. Okay, so this is a true story. So we got selected, 6 of us. I was really aggressive to get this internship because I wanted to tell everybody that the first company that came to my campus, I got an internship there. So out of these 6 people, 3 people got selected for the third round. Now third round is supposed to be the hardest, right? Like out of all the final round is supposed to be the hardest. So 3 of us were standing in the hallway waiting for the interviewer to call in. My placement committee head again walked in to say, only 3 of you got selected? That was not what we were looking forward to hear. We were like, yes, ma'am. And then she walked away, say, okay, good luck. She walked away. So I was called in. I was second person to go in. I was fully prepared to give the best answers possible to get that internship, right? Like when you go for an MBA paying lakhs of rupees, you're like, you want to make some money out of it, right? So I went in with full enthusiasm, wanting to answer every question that guy asked. He asked me only one question. Have you ever lived in another city? I said, yes, sir, I am from Visakhapatnam. I was in Delhi through my graduation and now here I'm in Mumbai for my post-graduation. He said, okay, thank you, bye. I was like, but sir, do you not have any more questions? I'm happy to answer. He said, no, it's all right. Thank you, Anusha. I went out wondering, what went wrong? So to my surprise, 2-3 days later, I got an email saying I was selected. And I was the only person to make it through. I was fully ecstatic, feeling elated. And you remember, like I told, when everything goes well in life, you never question, right? So I also didn't question anything. I was like, amazing. Now I received an email that I was selected. This was around the first week of February and your internships ideally start in the first week of April. So I was going around and giving my friends tips on how to, crack the interviews. What are the advices? What are the tips? How to update your resume? Everything like a pro because I nailed the first interview that I went for. Everybody was also seriously taking notes with whatever I was selling because, of course, proof of concept, right? So all great companies were coming in for taking interviews from the students. There's a small catch here. There is a policy that the placement cell has. I don't know if you guys have a similar thing here. But if you apply for a certain company and get selected and you get an offer, you are not allowed to apply for other companies. Is that the same here?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you guys can relate. So I was chilling. Like I am retired. I have done. You guys go apply for interviews. I am going to get my offer letter. Slowly weeks passed by. End of March, I was still not getting my offer. I was getting a little anxious about this. I went to the placement committee. I kept asking all the members, guys, I still didn't get an offer from this particular bank that I got selected for. They said, it's okay, it's a big bank. I don't think they're going to chicken out at this point. So you're going to get the offer. I was waiting to plan for my next couple of meals because, of course, I don't know the location yet. I don't know the stipend. Everybody else was receiving a stipend of 15,000 rupees, 20,000 rupees. I was like, I'm going to get better than that. So, another week down, no response from the bank whatsoever. So, I went back to the red saree lady. So, I went to her cabin to ask her, what is this? Everybody else is packing their bags, going for their internship. I went and knocked on her cabin. She said, come in, loudly. The door was not see-through. So I opened the door and I was shocked to see what I saw. She did not wear a red saree that day. So I went in. I sat down. I was fully anxious and I was telling, man, can you please help me with details? Because everybody else is packing bags. I don't know what is the location. I don't know what is the stipend. What my exact role was. Who I was going to report to. She said, come back in the evening. I was like, okay. Went back to my room, came back in the evening again, knocked on the door. Went in and I asked her, ma'am, do you have details? She said, come and sit down. She told me that I have the details. I'm going to share them with you right now. Your location for the marketing was Delhi. I was like, okay. The third round, I told them I lived in Delhi too. Okay, fine, makes sense. What's the stipend? She told me 5,000 rupees. I was like, what is this nonsense? I felt so helpless, guys. I felt so disappointed, so devastated. Now there are no more companies coming for any kind of placements. I was completely played. I felt that way. I was like, man, this is very disappointing. I have no other option now and it's almost March end. Can you please ensure that you're helping me do something about it? 5,000 is very less and I carry a lot of work experience with me. She said something, guys, at that moment that has changed my life forever. And I wanted to share this with you guys. And after whatever she said, I did not have anything else to say to her. She said, this is more than what you deserve. And I was like, what would a comeback been to that, right? How will I prove to her I deserve more than that? I took a long walk of shame to my hostel room. I sat down and I was like, what do I do now? And when I thought through that, I had two options. One was to be practical. Just take that damn thing, finish it 2-3 months and maybe work hard for the final placements. And the second one was to defy reality. And I'm sure, girls and boys, if I'm standing here and sharing this story with you, you know which path I chose. I sat down and I said, put this aside. Let me figure out how to try another way and crack a better internship and show this lady what I am worth. So the next thing was, I've actually got faster than my cue cards. So the next thing was, I started applying for internships left, right, center. 7 days, I even bunked classes. Mark suggested you to do that. Bunked classes. You know, sometimes sat in classes, applying for internships on Internshala that is sold now, I guess. It's no more there. Internshala, LinkedIn, I pinned every HR possible in Mumbai, Hyderabad, Delhi, whatever. Like, please give me one chance. I will do marketing, in operations, finance, whatever you tell me. I'm ready to do that. But I wanted to get something on my own. So I started applying 7 days, 10 days, nothing. One day, I got an email. Again, true story. I got an email from Andhra Pradesh government saying that we're selected for a fellowship. I was like, fellowship sounds more serious than an internship for sure. So let me go through the details. They made me write one Ramayana as an essay. A long story of what I ever did in life. I sat through an entire night to actually fill that application and I'm glad that it was rewarding. I'm not sure if you guys can read through that. Apparently, I was selected out of 350 applicants across the world. In my college, somebody was telling me I was... If my college somebody was telling me I did not deserve more than 5,000 rupees. Here somebody was telling me I was selected across the globe, 350 applicants and all of those serious things. I was like, all right, let's see what they had to offer me. I will tell you how much I received as a stipend. I'm sure a couple of you are waiting for that. But something has changed ever since, right? And that is what I wanted to share today. Is that if there's anything, there are 3 points here in life, any big decision making. You have 3 things to figure, 3 steps to figure out how to move forward. Also, this is what I did. 3 months ago, somebody told me I did not deserve an internship that paid more than 5,000 rupees, and 3 months later, I was empowering thousands of students in state universities in Andhra Pradesh. Thousands of students. This 3 months later was. This 3 months later. So one thing that I want to leave you guys with is that 3 steps every time life poses you with a big decision to make. Number 1, we also got on newspapers, is pause. Don't jump into everything. Don't look at your peers around you and make decisions just because somebody else got a job better than you, just because somebody is earning more than you, just because your neighbor is coming and telling your parents that their son is doing better than you. Don't. Pause. Question. Do I really need this? Because every one of us are different. Every one of us want different case. The society might be the same, but all of us need different things in life. And I want you guys to question that and then choose what you want. And the stipend that I received for my fellowship, was not 2x, was not 3x, not 5x, but 20x. I received 1 lakh rupees. Why did you tell me that I'll only deserve that much? So if there's anything else first that I want to leave you with, is that every time somebody comes and tell you that you cannot do this, you cannot love this person, this is your religion, this is your caste, just stop and ask them, why? Thank you guys, that's my dance.